Lightness is an essential part of our life that allows us to achieve our daily goals and experience mind-blowing feats of art. In the wrong hands, however, brightness can easily result in unwanted results that instead damage how we live. That's why as designers, we must be conscious about how we use light and in turn produce safe, engaging, and sustainable solutions, which naturally raises the question of how should designs or designers balance brightness? Hello creative people, and welcome to Sbjctv Design, the channel where we discuss design concepts with the goal that designers like ourselves use these concepts in their future projects. My name is Alice, and for today's video, we will be looking at brightness. I consider this to be an essential concept because more often than not, designers prioritize visibility for their projects. In technical terms, brightness can be defined as the quality or state of giving out light, while culturally, this term is used to positively describe intelligence or liveliness. Our need for bright objects can be linked to our early life, since newborn babies are not able to distinguish shapes and colors very well. And because of that, they're more attracted to vibrant colors. But once they're older, bright and colorful objects continue to stimulate the brain more easily. So children use these objects to make sense of their world. Eventually, however, brightness and shine are associated with more specific concepts, such as luxury products, oily faces, or tacky fashion, depending on who you ask. Keep in mind that we're physically wired to see brightness objectively, since we rely on the size of our pupil to tell us how bright something is. Meanwhile, to help us distinguish our surroundings, our brain makes assumptions about the neighboring elements of whatever we're looking at. Our eyes are also more sensitive to the color green, which means that we're able to recognize greener objects among other colors of the same lightness more quickly. The issues with brightness primarily happen when people are not able to control it, when the change is too sudden, or when there's simply too much light. We see this often as glare, but at a larger scale, this is the light pollution that makes cities glow and the stars invisible at night. This excessive amount of light can be bothersome if you live in dense urban areas with a lot of commercial lighting. But more importantly, the glow confuses animals that rely on the moonlight to guide them or the darkness for protection. Energy to power the fixtures is also being wasted to power the sky, and this directly translates to higher greenhouse gas emissions and costs. Poor lighting design extends to the human scale, where brightness causes unintentional results. This is seen in spaces that transition too suddenly from bright to dim, since our eyes need time to adjust to the change in lighting. Apparently, it's also common for people to only use downlights to light a space, and what ends up happening is that they light the floor, but not the walls, which is what would make the room appear bright. And if task lighting is not diffuse enough, it can cast deep shadows over the work area that will make it hard for the user to see what they're doing. But of course, brightness is generally a good thing. For example, just imagine that you're walking home alone at night after an exhausting day at the university. You notice a stranger steps behind you, and while chances are that you will be fine, since it's probably just another student, you're still anxious because the path is barely illuminated and your phone is already dead. As you continue walking, the lights of apathetic cars only make you more uncomfortable because they don't offer you a source of constant light. Just in case though, you know there's an emergency post nearby, but you don't remember where it is and you can't see it from where you are. This scenario illustrates how designs can focus on creating a more comfortable experience that use brightness to create functional, beautiful, and smart solutions. But the impact of these interventions is measured by how well brightness is balanced. For instance, by providing ample daylight, but only when it's needed and to serve a specific purpose. The light can then be carried further by including finishes that reflect and diffuse the light through barrier-free spaces, such as light and glossy surfaces, polished metals, or indirect mirrors. Similarly, strategies can be implemented to make spaces subconsciously appear brighter such as by decluttering or by using objects that are known to weigh less. Because of our sensitivity and affinity for the color green, introducing abundant vegetation into our designs can, I would argue, trick our brain into thinking that the spaces are brighter. Brightness can also be used to get people's attention, which can be done by increasing the contrast between objects in a busy environment. And depending on the location, bright lights can act as beacons for a legible design. This is why safety design must use recognizable markers that might also provide ambient lighting when it's not an emergency. As for well-being, aside from being a source of vitamin D, sunlight is believed to stimulate serotonin and cortisol production, which help to improve our mood and boost energy respectively. Studies have also shown that people tend to perform better when they're in day-lit rooms. In fact, this particular study found that students progress about 20% faster in math and reading tests. So to answer how designers should balance brightness, I believe you can rely on the surfaces to diffuse and redirect the light where it's needed. You can ensure highly contrasting lights are mainly used to improve a person's well-being, and you can intentionally treat light to achieve a desired appearance or behavior. Before you go, have you come across any interesting applications of bright designs? Make sure you let me know in the comments. Bye. Thanks for watching this episode of Subjective Design. If design runs in your veins, make sure you subscribe for more. You can also follow me on Instagram for updates and related content. Music for this video was produced by my friend 𝗖𝗄𝗄. You can find him on Instagram to listen to more of his music.